What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Wighty here today. I hope everyone had a nice weekend and that you're all ready to kick off the new week with us. Today we have episode number 92 of the JuiceBox, which will be a review of yesterday's slate, followed by everything you need to know for today's Monday, June 2nd MLB slate, plus, of course, our JuiceBox Lock of the day for today. But before we get into it, just a reminder, you can, of course, join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/LockCity for only $5 a month. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of other sports-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. Yesterday, we cashed our 6th consecutive JuiceBox Lock. We had the over 8.5 runs in the Athletics and Blue Jays game. It finished with a total of 12 runs and an 8-4 Blue Jays scoreline for the series sweep. We also shouted out yesterday on the JuiceBox pod that we liked the Blue Jays minus 1.5 run line on that one. That was also JuiceBox Lock of the Day potential. They covered that as well. So if you strayed away from the play and took that as the alternative, congrats to you as well. We are now 35, 27, and 1 overall on the JuiceBox Locks, and we are up 22.91 units, or $2,291 for you $100 bettors. Our guy Trey certainly took care of us this weekend in the channel, as well as this past week. He finished up 18.77 units just on the week alone, so that's $1,877 for you $100 bettors. My channel for the month of May, overall, we finished up 52.92 units, or $5,292 for the total month of May there. Our man Claw's been absolutely dialed in, as usual, on pitcher props. He called out Ryan Weathers yesterday. He had Bryce Miller, Spencer Schwellenbach, Mike Wacha the day before that, so on and so forth. And on the non-baseball side of things, me and Munz absolutely crushed the UFC picks again this weekend. We have a UFC 316 card coming up next weekend. That's going to be super exciting. As always, the pay-per-views, but we got O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili as the main event there. That's going to be a banger. We also have the French Open going down for tennis. We have the Blast TV Austin Major starting tomorrow for CS2. And of course, tons of content for the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, WNBA action, tons of football between the UEFA Nations League matches, the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We do daily picks from our capper team. We have daily projections for all major sports. And of course, we have our Lock City cheat sheets that we're running daily for a ton of different sports and prop markets. You can get better results paying only 16 cents a day at wap.com/LockCity. That's WHOP.com/LockCity. So quick review of yesterday's slate. Take it from top to bottom here. The Texas Rangers at home took down the St. Louis Cardinals by a score of 8-1 at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The Boston Red Sox on the road took down the Atlanta Braves by a score of 3-1 at Truist Park. Garrett Crochet picked up the win. We called that one out yesterday as well. The Baltimore Orioles took down the White Sox by a score of 3-2 at home in Camden Yards. We called out the White Sox plus 1.5 in that one. That cashed as well. The Brewers took down the Phillies by a score of 5-2 at Citizens Bank Park. The Blue Jays, of course, here, our JuiceBox Lock of the Day yesterday, the over 8.5. They took down the Athletics by a score of 8-4 at home at Rogers Center. 12 total runs in that game, cashed our over 8.5 pretty easily. Blue Jays also covered that 1.5 run line that we called out yesterday on the pod, too. The Cleveland Guardians took down the Angels by a score of 4-2. This one I thought would be higher scoring. This was another play that I really liked yesterday. I thought the over 8 in this one looked really good. A lot of opportunities, but ultimately we only saw 6 total runs. So bit of a bummer in that one. We move on. It's okay. We cashed mostly everything else. The New York Mets took down the Rockies by a score of 5-3. Unfortunately for our free play of the day yesterday, in the server there, we do a max play of the day, and then we do a free play of the day that we post on Twitter. For the free play of the day, we had the Mets minus 2.5, so a bit of a tough one there. Yesterday on the podcast, I was thinking this one would be a little bit tricky. Colorado, 2.5's a lot to cover at even money for the Mets there. So Colorado plus 2.5, we called out on the pod, ended up cashing, but unfortunately our pick of the day went down with that one. The San Francisco Giants took down the Marlins by a score of 4-2 on the road at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. The Detroit Tigers defied the odds and took down the KC Royals by a score of 1-0 at Kauffman there. Chris Bubik picked up the loss in that one. Guy's got an ERA of 1.43, and he's 5-3 on the year, so not getting a ton of run support. Royals lose this one 1-0. He pitched great, only gave up the one run. I believe it was on an error, some sort of I wasn't watching the game. I was out for the day, but I'm pretty sure it was off some sort of an error there that they ended up scoring. So Bubik pitched a good game, and still 1-0 loss for the Royals there. So tough one, but Tigers best team in the league, move forward. Tampa Bay Rays lost on the road in Houston at Daikin Park by a score of also 1-0. The Chicago Cubs beat the Cincinnati Reds at home by a score of 7-3 at Wrigley Field. Jameson Taillon picked up the win. The Seattle Mariners took down the Minnesota Twins at home at T-Mobile Park in Seattle by a score of 2-1. The Arizona Diamondbacks, also at home, took down the Washington Nationals at Chase Field by a score of 3-1. The San Diego Padres came back and took down the Pirates by a score of 6-4. We had Padres money line that we called out on the pod there. I had them as part of a parlay, so Padres took care of business there as well. And last game of the night, we like the over in this one, but I also really like the Dodgers team total over 4.5. So that one kind of sucked here. The Yankees won by a score of 7-3. Dodgers did not get their 5 runs, but the game did go over. So 50-50 on that one. We'll take it because, again, rest of the slate looked pretty hot yesterday, which is good for Sunday baseball. Sunday baseball can be pretty sketchy. And what's sketchier than Sunday baseball? Monday baseball. So let's get into it today. We have 7 total games today, going down from top to bottom on the slate here. The first one is going to be the Colorado Rockies at the Miami Marlins, Lone Depot Park, Miami, Florida, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time. The Colorado Rockies have German Marquez going to the mound, right-handed pitcher, 1-7 with an ERA of 7.13 and a WHIP of 1.64. Pretty horrible stats across the board. In 53 innings pitched, he's given up 68 hits. He's struck out 32 batters, and he's issued 19 walks, as well as 4 home runs against him. And Max Meyer starting for the Marlins, 3-4, ERA of 4.5, 4.53, WHIP of 1.36 across 59 innings pitched this year, 59.2. He's given up 62 hits, struck out 63 batters, also has issued 19 walks, and he's given up 10 home runs. So looking at this one, I think we're going to see a lot of runs probably in this game. Pitching on both sides is not good, but the offenses are also not good. This opened at over under 7.5, which I would have been all over the over 7.5. Now it's slid up to over 8.5 at plus money at plus 110. I think if you want to alt that down, maybe do like an over 8, you get the push if it finishes at 8 runs. I think that's a good idea for this game. German Marquez, not a good pitcher. Max Meyer, he's looked okay, but he's given up a lot of home runs. Looking at his splits here, so at home he's significantly better than he is on the road, but at home he still has an ERA of 3.5, so average at best. German Marquez, I mean, obviously nothing to write home about here. When we're looking at German Marquez's splits on the road, he has a 9.42 ERA. So maybe a Miami Marlins team total here. If you're getting the game total at 8.5, I would imagine Miami Marlins team total is probably around 4.5. I don't think that's a horrible option. If we're looking at how Miami is currently batting at home, they are batting .247 in their own ballpark. Through the month of May, they batted .239, so they were a little bit down from April. June's only been, of course, one day, but yesterday they batted .257 to kick off June. I don't know. I'm kind of like a Miami Marlins team total. They haven't put up runs in a couple of games here. They were held quiet in that San Francisco series, but they did put up a good amount of runs across the board in that Padres series. So let's go Miami Marlins over 4.5 team total, and we're going to move on to the next game. Angels and the Red Sox. This one's going to be at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. The Red Sox are starting Richard Fitts, right-handed pitcher, 0-2 with an ERA of 2.70, WHIP of 1.10. Across 20 innings pitched, he has issued 6 walks. He's struck out 15 batters, and he's given up 16 hits, 2 home runs as well. Tyler Anderson, he's 2-2 with an ERA of 3.39, a WHIP of 1.21. Across 61 innings pitched, he's given up 50 hits, he's struck out 46 batters, he's issued 24 walks, and he's given up 11 home runs. Tyler Anderson is not a good road pitcher. If we're looking at his splits, he has an ERA of nearly 5 on the road. He's given up 6 of his home runs on the road and only 26 innings pitched. He's walked 14 batters in those 26 innings, given up 25 hits for a total of 15 runs. I think he's going to get bombed here on the road in Fenway. I really like the Red Sox in this one, money line at minus 155, but I also think this is a really good spot to pick out some batting versus pitching matchup history. If we want to dig into this a little bit, guys like Rafael Devers, Devers bats really well off of lefties. He hits 307 off lefties. Pitching history, or batter versus pitching against Tyler Anderson. He's seen him 7 times. In those 7 plate appearances, he has 3 hits, 2 singles, 1 home run. ISO of 429, batting average 429. Rafael Devers and a couple other guys in this one, I think will give him issues. Probably Jaron Duran, probably Rob Refsnyder. There's a couple of guys that I think this is probably a good one to target, but definitely Boston on the money line. Milwaukee Brewers, Cincinnati Reds. This is going to be at Great American Ballpark, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to be taking the Cincinnati Reds in this one. They have Brady Singer starting right-handed pitcher. He is 6-3, ERA of 4.6. Neither of these guys have incredible ERAs. Aaron Savali, on the other hand, also a righty, 0-1 with an ERA of 6. He hasn't been out there a lot this year, only 12 innings pitched, but he's given up 4 home runs already across those 12 innings pitched. So he's been getting bombed. I think Cincinnati takes care of business at home here. Cincinnati on the money line, -125. Next one up is going to be the Tigers and the White Sox. This is also where we're going to find our max play of the day. The Detroit Tigers have Jack Flaherty on the mound, 3-6, ERA 3.94, 1.11 whip. Across 59 innings pitched this season so far, he's given up 47 hits. He's struck out 72 batters, issued 19 walks, and given up 11 home runs. Jonathan Cannon starting at home for the White Sox. He's 2-6, ERA of 4.15, whip of 1.35. 60 innings pitched, 8 home runs, and he hasn't looked great there. 64 hits in those 60 innings. At home, if we're looking at splits, Jonathan Cannon does have a very, very good ERA at home. He's only pitched 15 innings at home, but his ERA is 1.17, which is good, but small sample size, shitty teams. It's not going to happen today against the best team in the league. If we're looking at Jack Flaherty in terms of his splits, on the road, he's struggled a little bit, but when you're looking at who he's been playing against on the road, it's the Astros, the Brewers, the Blue Jays, so not great teams, but obviously much better teams than Chicago. He saw Chicago earlier this season in Detroit on April the 4th. Flaherty pitched 5.2 innings. He only gave up 1 run. He struck out 7 batters. He looked really, really good in that outing. So I'm going to be leaning Tigers here on the run line. I think they put up a lot of runs. I think Cannon's due to regress here at home. Tigers -1.5 run line. Also going to be our JuiceBox Lock of the day. -120 on Bet365. Love this line. Next one up is going to be the Padres and the Giants. Padres are on the road at Oracle Park in San Francisco. Padres are going to be starting Stephen Kolek, right-handed pitcher, 3-1, 4.11 ERA, 1.30 whip. Logan Webb's going to be going out there for the Giants, 5-5, 2.82 ERA, 1.21 whip. I got to go with the Giants all day on this one. Giants at home, they got Webb on the mound. I see no reason not to lean the Giants. The Padres had to exert a lot of energy in that come-behind win last night there to take that game 6-4 in a series where they shouldn't have struggled as much as they struggled. So now they got to go on the road to San Francisco to kick it off and face Logan Webb. Kolek's looked good, but I got to go Giants all day on this one. I'm going to go San Francisco Giants on the money line, -180. Next one up, Minnesota Twins and the Athletics, 10:05 at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. The Minnesota Twins have Joe Ryan on the mound, 5-2, ERA 2.57, sub-1 whip, 0.83. The A's have Luis Severino, 1-4, with a 3.89 whip, 3.89 ERA, 1.23 whip. Even though Joe Ryan is sometimes questionable at times, I do have to give the edge to Minnesota here. They've obviously been the much better team. The Athletics have been sliding like crazy. The Athletics were very, very close to 500. I think they were even a couple of games above 500 early on in the season, like maybe like a 20-19 or a 19-18. And now they're 23-37. That also includes 9-19 at home. They have a horrible home record. They're much better on the road, surprisingly, than they are at home. This ballpark is super run-friendly. I think the Twins continue their little quote-unquote reign of terror, if they consider it that. But they've been playing well. I think the Twins pick up a win in this one, -160 on the money line. Last game of the day is going to be the Mets and the Dodgers. So we just got a nice Yankees-Dodgers series, and now we get a nice Mets-Dodgers series. So Mets headed out to LA to Dodger Stadium. Paul Blackburn is headed to the mound for the Mets, and Dustin May headed to the mound for the Dodgers, both righties. Blackburn, I think this is his first first appearance this year, is it not? Yeah, he hasn't even pitched this year. Nice. Okay, Dodgers. I'm going Dodgers in this one. Blackburn's first outing of the year. Dodgers at home, following a tough little series with the Yanks. They ended up losing a game yesterday. They need a bounce-back win here. They actually lost the first series against the Mets in New York at Citi Field. The first time these teams met there at the end of May, like not that long ago, maybe a week or so ago. And the Mets won that series 2-1. So I'm looking for the Dodgers to bounce back here at home. Blackburn's first appearance of the year. It's going to be against the toughest lineup in the entire league. He's got to struggle a little bit. I'm going LA Dodgers on the money line here, minus 165. I think that's pretty free. Alrighty, circling back up. So we're going to be going with the Detroit Tigers on the run line for our max play of the day. Detroit Tigers minus 1.5. They have Jack Flaherty on the mound. Flaherty's already seen this White Sox team once this season. He only gave up 1 run in nearly 6 innings pitched. Jonathan Cannon is due to regress. If you're looking at his splits on the road, he's got an ERA of 5, and at home he's got an ERA of 1.17 in very minimal appearances. The larger the sample size, the more he struggles. He's only 24 years old. He's got a lot to learn. He's going up against the best team overall right now record-wise in the MLB, but also a very, very good hitting team. I think the Tigers are going to give him a ton of problems from top to bottom here. We're going with the Detroit Tigers minus 1.5 on the run line. If we're looking at current odds on that, let me get something updated on FanDuel here. On FanDuel, it's minus 134, but if you're looking on Bet365, it's minus 120. So snag it there if you can. I think that's a great play for today here. For those of you that are not yet in the server, make sure to check that out. We got a free tier as well, discord.gg/LockCity. And of course, on the premium side, you're getting all of our content, whop.com/LockCity, WHOP.com/LockCity. Only $5 a month or 16 cents a day. Make sure to tap in here. We got a ton of daily content going on and a ton of winners that we're going to bring you today. So let's get it to 7 in a row here for JuiceBox Locks with our Detroit Tigers minus 1.5 on the run line. Take care, y'all. See you tomorrow.